Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course, I'm your host, your YouTube messiah and often entertainer, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious, and we'll talk about Raw as we was in Madison Square Garden, first time in, God, seems like a lifetime since the last time Monday Night Raw was in the Garden, and honestly, probably the most iconic, or not iconic, should say, but probably the one moment from the Garden that I remember more than anything, seeing as far as a Monday Night Raw in the Garden, had to be when Triple H made his return from when he tore his quad. You know, because it was just, they hyped up his return. They did it with a really good video package and all that jazz. And then, you know, he came out and he just got this ovation. It was, wow. You know, it was just amazing. That's probably one of my favorite moments ever seeing it. You know, and Monday night, yeah, WWE and New York, they are pretty much, they go together like peanut butter and chocolate, you know? You can't help it. So, that said, also, kind of new, also unrelated, as far as wrestling news, real quick, wanted to touch note, Anthem Sports, the parent company behind Impact, or TNA, as some still like to call it. I'm guilty of calling it that myself from time to time. But the parent company, Anthem, has wound up actually purchasing a majority ownership of Access TV. So what that means now, I can't say for certain. I'm not fully savvy in the field of business and mergers and acquisitions and shit like that, but hopefully what that means is that it gives Impact more channels to put their product on, because yeah, they got Twitch. Yeah, they could put their stuff on Fight. Yeah, they also got, you know, their own app now. And all that jazz. But you know, the more ways you can have your content out there to view, the better. I mean, hell, if I could put this entire episode on fucking my Facebook gimmick or my Twitter at Tim Vicious, guarantee I would. You know? As much as I love keeping it on here for YouTube for all you guys, you know, I'd love to stretch it out if I could, because I would love to stretch it out and have more eyeballs get a chance to see this, whether they love it or hate it. Same thing with Impact. Let people see there is an alternative to just what you're normally used to watching as far as wrestling. You know? So, ominous dominus, best of luck with Anthem and Impact on that. That said, now let's get into the show. Raw starts off with the one and only what? The one and only what? The one and only what? Stone Cold Steve Austin himself come down, crack open a couple Steve Weisers, introduces Braun and Seth, has them two sign up their contracts, hype up their match coming up this Sunday for Clash of Champions. And I gotta say, this was probably one of my more favorable contract signings I've seen in a while. You know? So, they did that. They hyped up on how them two were going to go and whoop each other's ass after they defended the tag titles. And then out come the Good Brothers with Uncle Allen. So, Uncle Allen in the Garden ski hoots. And they went AJ making fun of Stone Cold. Absolutely fucking hilarious. You know, what is Stone Cold? What is Stone Cold gonna stop a mine hole? What? Oh, gonna open up a can of whoop ass? What? And man, it was just fucking hilarious. That, and the best part on all that, one, they announced on the show that the Garden was sold out. But I guarantee Meltzer, that fuckknuckle Meltzer will say, oh, well, they said it was sold out. But there was still but there were only 40,000, there were only 2,200 people in attendance. Fuck you, man. Let people enjoy this shit. Stop worrying about that kind of stuff. But anyways, AJ making fun of Stone Cold was hilarious, and then the crowd started chanting asshole to him, and then Steve, being Steve, hey, I'm not sure you're hearing this, but you got about 14,000 people calling you an asshole. And just, I could just imagine Vince's reaction to that, like, ha 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 ha, god damn it, he's still fucking got it. He'd call, and they're all calling him an asshole, and Steve just told them, ha ha, that's just like the old days. God damn, that's good shit right there. Yeah. So yeah, next thing you know, them three are in the ring. Next thing you know, Gallows, Anderson, and Styles get in the ring. Austin, Strowman, and Seth are in the ring. And it's just looking like it. All hell's gonna break loose. And then Seth and Strowman go after them. They beat the crap out of Gallows and Anderson. And Styles a little. Styles winds up getting up while he's standing in the ring looking at them both like, yeah, come on, boys. Come on, get back in the ring. I dare you. Next thing you know, turns around, Steve pops a bird, kicks him in the gut, hits him with a stunner, and yeah. So, after that, they go to commercial, and the first sequence, fade to black. We come back, Styles is sitting in the corner. Oh, man, oh, that hurt, oh. And then out comes Cedric Alexander because we now got a match. Styles, Alexander. And, man, I was really digging this. You know, Alexander, he was leading good and hot at the start. You know, they went to break, had a nice little bit of a tussle with it. Liked on how they were having Styles focus on Alexander's shoulder. Highlighting on how last week they beat the shit out of him. And, you know, his shoulder was still wrenched, and that may have had to do with him losing his King of the Ring match and all that jazz. But match came to an end when Alexander, he's starting to build a comeback, about ready to go and do a springboard. Next thing you know, Carl Anderson, right out of nowhere, boom, trips up Cedric, so the match is thrown out. Technically a DQ win for Cedric Alexander. And then next thing you know, we get the Viking Raiders come out, which, you know, a lot of people were out there confused. Saw it on my timeline on my Twitter. Tim Vish saying, oh, why the hell the Raiders? Why are the Raiders coming out? Alright, easy enough. One, Michael Cole explained it. Real simple. So if Cole was able to break it down simple, then y'all need to really listen, because when do you ever hear him explain something relatively simple? And two, I'm about to explain it the same way he did. That tag team turmoil match, it ended with them both teams getting tossed out because them two just straight up brawled nonstop. So yeah, that's why. They still got issues with each other. Plain and simple. Now, it wound up after all that jazz, then yeah. It gets announced later on in the night that we're going to get a 10-man tag. Braun, Seth, Cedric, and the Raiders going against Gallows, Anderson, Styles, as well as Rude and Ziggler. And them two got added to the mix because in a backstage segment they saw Rude and Ziggler go over to the club, talking to them, asking them like, yo, guys, you know, you get some fellas like us watch your back. Be surprised on how quick things turn around here for you. So yeah, now next matchup we got women's action. It is Becky and Charlotte going against Sasha and Bayley. And oh dear God almighty, this was one hell of a match. absolutely fucking loved it. You know, if you got to just watch one match on Raw this week, you know, this had to be it, hands down. This was hands down match of the night for me. This was really great. Started with a good brawl outside with, you know, and Becky and Charlotte, they didn't show that openly, you know, grudgingly disagreement with each other. They just had that silent, I really don't fucking like you kind of look with each other, you know, like you have with that one coworker, you know, like you have with that one coworker that always goes and tells HR that, you know, that always goes and rats you out to HR on something. Yeah, I've had to deal with those guys a lot. I had to deal with that prick a lot when I in a few different jobs. Yeah, but this back to the match, really good. Like I said, started out with a brawl, you know, before the start of the match. Bayley and Becky actually wound up working both as the team punching bag for a while, and on how that came to be, which, again, really different. Absolutely love that on how that came to be. Bayley, she was getting worked on for a good bit, you know, and then next thing you know, Becky, boom, she wound up getting worked on because she wound up getting cocky, throwing around Bayley like, "Hey, that's your partner, right? You want to tag her? Go ahead, tag her." Doing shit like that and all. Yeah, normal, typical, you know, she's got that cocky attitude, you know, that's her. So, yeah, it comes with the territory. But either way, great back and forth with it. Like I said, this match was fucking hot. I absolutely loved it. You know, a lot of people were confused because they were saying, oh, the crowds don't know who to cheer for. Fuck that! It's okay to watch to see on how the crowds react on stuff, but do not live and die by on how the crowd reacts to something. You know? For crying out loud. Crying out loud. Some of my favorite, some of the most favorite shit that I have seen in wrestling was on TV, and the crowds were either dead or either as fucking quiet as a church mouse, or chanting boring, stupid, or bullshit. You know? But it was fucking good. Don't live and die by the crowd. Go by your opinion. Go by what you're watching. You know? You sit there and think, damn, I like this. Don't worry. You know? That match wound up coming to an end with Charlotte. She wound up hitting natural selection on Bayley. Got the 1, 2, 3. That was it. So, since Charlotte got the win on Bayley, and they have a match coming up this Sunday at Clash of Champions, it's 50-50. They could say Charlotte's going to win that one, but honestly, I don't know. I would like to see Bayley win that match at Clash of Champions just because, you know, with just the recent villainous, heel, aggressive kind of attitude she's got, you know, I want to see on how far they can take that with her as a champion. As far as Becky versus Sasha, Becky Lynch, hands down, that's who I want just because, you know, last thing I need is to have Sasha drop the title the following night on Monday. Next matchup, we got Lucha. We got Lucha action right here. Rey Mysterio going against Gran Menelik. And one thing I do got to bring up, useless information, this was actually Gran Menelik's first singles match in, God, several months now. It's been not since before they formed Lucha House Party. So, Christ almighty, it's been that long. This is the first singles match Gran Menelik has had on Raw since. But, you know, really like the Lucha action. The one thing I could say that I did not like was on how they kept replaying Menelik. He did a tope over the top, leg drop, caught Rey real ugly on the side of the head. You could see his head bob like that, and just, ugh, you know. Excuse me. And just, it was ugly. It was ugly looking, just, I wasn't a fan of seeing it. You know, I just kept thinking, my God, no, he could really have gotten hurt. He just don't know it yet. Why are you showing that over and over? Please don't do that. But yeah, great match. Really cool to see. It was a different change of pace. You know, it was a different change of pace instead of just seeing the regular old, you know, Rey Mysterio going against a 6 foot, 230 or 250, you know, Goliath kind of guy. But yeah, it's cool to see on that. Ray got the win doing the 619 and then dropping the dime on Menelik. So Ray's back. Hopefully we'll, you know, always hate to see when the legends have to go, but if Ray still feels like he's still got some left in the tank, then, you know, I'm all for it. But if he, honest to God, feels like he has to call it quits, then as a fan, I'm going to be disgruntled. But being a guy who stepped away myself because I knew my body couldn't do it no more, I understand fully. Next up, we got triple threat action for the King of the Ring semifinal. Samoa Joe, Baron Corbin, and Ricochet. And now hear me out on this. Ricochet was in his Nightwing suit, in his Nightwing gear. So, Ricochet is Nightwing, Samoa Joe is Bane, which leaves Baron Corbin to be Joe Chill. Just the common petty street thug who, by chance, killed off Bruce Wayne's parents. Perfect. Perfect. I just pitched an idea for a new WWE studio movie. Let's get Ed, make a note, pitch that to the old man next time he tries to contact us to buy the show. Let's see if that'll get his attention. Now, that solid action all around. That's honestly the best way I can put this. You know, Ricochet being the smaller guy, you know, working with the bigger guys, it was just really good. And, you know, I can't believe I'm about to say this, and I feel a chill in the air saying it, but I actually kind of dug Corbin's work tonight. It's cold now. I feel cold. I feel cold now. It's scary. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, don't get me wrong. Corbin, he's cool as a heel, you know, he's a good way, yeah, he can get heat. There's no issue with that. It's just, he never gave me that wow feeling like, okay, what makes me want to invest in you and see you as a guy that, you know, I want to go and go to a show to see. I never had that. I never got that from him. But either way, great solid match overall, every which way possible. Absolutely dug it. You know, match wound up coming to an end when Joe, he had the Coquita clutch locked in on Ricochet. Ricochet wound up climbing up, doing the old Rowdy Piper thing, climbing up on the turnbuckles to flip over to get out of it, and then wound up hitting the ripcord, and then got up, did a 630 onto Joe. Just as he did that, Corbin got up from recouping from being choked out from earlier from Joe, slammed Ricochet, threw him out into the crowd, and then took the pin, 1, 2, 3. So, yeah. And now Corbin is going to have to go against the winner of Elias or Chad Gable. More than likely, money's going to be on Gable winning just because it's going to be more so just to give Corbin more of a I beat a smaller, puny guy kind of feel. So, yeah. Next up, we got another round of women's action. We got, thank goodness for my homeboy Zeke. You know, Lacey Evans with them legs. Them legs, mama. Lacey Evans coming on down with going against Natalya again, and again for a second week in a row, I was actually impressed with with Natalya, you know, and not to take away from her in-ring work. In-ring work, she's really good. However, my issue, one, when she talks, because honestly, if given a multiple choice question of who is the most monotone person, who is the most monotone woman on a microphone, your choices are Natalya, Nikki Bella, or a phone sex operator. And it's really hard to tell between them three. Just, yeah. Natalya, love her in-ring work. Cannot stand her on the mic, and also cannot stand the fact that she just constantly keeps doing all the same shit that, you know, the rest of her family did. You know? For fuck's sake. Yeah, we get it. You're a heart. But you know who else is a heart? Your cousin Teddy. Your cousin Davey. And you know what? They don't do the same fucking shit. They're fucking different too. Just... Ugh. Okay, I understand you got some agents saying, no, we want you to go and do this. But, you know, for the amount of time and tenure she has there, she should have enough say to be able to go and say, listen, I want to change up my repertoire a little. I want to throw a little bit of this in. I want to throw a little bit of that in. I want to do something like this. Maybe instead of a sharpshooter, I do that. Something like that. Simple. Just, you know, not only that, how many times can you see a heart do a sharpshooter before you start thinking, well, eventually Brett's just going to get mad about that? Because what doesn't Brett get mad about anymore these days? You know? So, yeah. Decent match. Natty, she was right on fire right from the start. It was a good, solid match. I dug it. You know, Lacey Evans, I could watch read a phone book all day, but rule of life, and I have learned this lesson the hard way, watch what you say and how you say certain things around female Marines, because, you know, I don't know if that women's right of hers is a working punch or a real punch, but I have had plenty of those from first-hand experience from certain female Marines, and yeah, that's all I'm going to leave that at. Anyways, match came to an end when Natalya, she got the sharpshooter in. And so yeah. Now we come to the main event of the night. 10-man tag match that I talked about earlier. Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, Cedric Alexander, Viking Raiders going against Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Uncle Alan AJ Styles himself. And nice start with a brawl. You know, had a nice start. You know, nice, good, traditional kind of start, and then led to an all-out brawl. And then, you know, right before the break, and then after that, that's when we got regular action again. You know, Alexander, he was kind of a punching bag for a bit, and then Seth got the hot tag in. He started started cleaning up house, and then everyone came in. It was a big brouhaha. And then Seth wound up working as a team punching bag after another commercial break. And Braun wound up working, cleaning up house for a bit. There was chaos. Just chaos. And not like the shitty kind of chaos you would expect, but it was more like controlled chaos, and it was actually all good storytelling. You know, I thought it was good. I dug the storytelling in it. You know? Match wound up coming to an end when Cedric Alexander, who was in the ring, wound up hitting a lumbar check on AJ Styles. Got the 1, 2, 3. So what it's looking like, we're probably going to get Cedric versus AJ at Clash of Champions coming up for the U.S. title. I don't know if they officially announced that yet or not. But if they do, if that happens, I see Cedric going for the gold. Hands down. So yeah, that is it for this week's show, folks. So do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Make sure you look for me on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. Two other got another account. Every now and then if I get ghosted or put in Twitter jail, Tim_Vicious. Also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. You're gonna look for me on my Facebook gimmick. Let me know you found me on there from here. On my Twitter at Tim Vicious. I'm thinking Creep John going. Huge ups to two major contributors to the show. LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. A little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, a whole lot of hot women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, big thanks to my executive producer, Ali Rewind Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. You want one of these sweet Ali Rewind shirts? Hit me up and I will talk to that man for you. Show him some love and support. His music is out there on iTunes, Spotify, such details are down below. And also, folks, do not forget to follow these cool-ass cats right here on the Twitter. Axel Mulligan, Kitty Killer, DSB_IV, Diabolica RA, Sergeant Curry Pants, Dazzy MWP, my homeboy Zeke. The man keeps me from having a heart attack almost every week. His account is TSUNDERE_ZEEN. Folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.